Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Ftrl and welcome to Daytona. This is week 3 of GT25, the GT1 season. Coming live every Friday night at 8:30. And we are just getting underway for qualifying. So we are going to have a quick 5-minute qualifying session here to determine the starting order of the sprint race, which will be 13 laps on soft tyres. Good evening, everybody coming into the chat. Fever, Andy, Lennon, Royston, good evening. Let's see how everyone gets on. Who's good at Daytona? Is anyone good at Daytona? I'm not very good at Daytona, I have to say. The infield always seems a little bit like I'm just sort of making my way around it and not really optimising it. And the chicane will catch me out at least once a race, as I think it did to a few people last night. Mr. Owen, hello from the band pit lane. Oh dear, naughty boy. What have you been up to? I'm continuing my tradition so far this season, but not really paying attention until I actually have to stream and commentate on a race. Which is pretty good in a way, because it means I haven't seen the race last night. I don't really know how it's going to go down. We've got a couple of people in who were also racing last night, so it'll be interesting to see if it gives them the advantage. We have got Sir Goose, who is standing in for Fever, and who I think are you not well, Fever? I heard you weren't well. As I said, I've not been paying attention. If you're not well, get well soon. So Sergio's standing in for Fever, and we have Andy just coming out there behind everyone else at the back is covering for T. Smith. So both of those guys taking on the car of the driver that they're going to be replacing. So Andy's in the BMW, and Sir Goose is in the Lamborghini. I fear for Andy in that BMW. It hasn't looked like it suits many tracks so far, but you never know. We'll have to see if we can find its forte. Good evening, Superhands. Good evening, Mikey. Everybody piling into the chat. Great to see. As always, really enjoy and appreciate the support we get from everyone who's not racing, and indeed anybody who may be watching that's not part of FTRL. You never know. Oh, Andy's in the BMW GT2. Okay, fair enough. Well, there you go. As I said, shows how much I know. It's what I think it brings a certain level of excitement to have a commentator who doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on. And I know you guys will always back me up anyway. You could feed me completely false information, and I will just put it right back out there. Someone's going for the triple up. Looking to come last for his third race in a row. Is that a third weekend in a row? All 3 races this evening, because if that's the case, I've got news for you. There's There's not 3 races this evening, unless you're counting qualifying. We will have the qualifying, which is just coming round now, first flying lap. And then there'll be 13 lap sprints, and then we'll be following on with a 29 lap endurance race. The V12 Yaris. Would it sound worse than the Mazda though? That's the question. Where's that stupid Mazda? Where is it? There it is. Whee! Well, it may sound stupid, but Biggles has put in a decent time. 1:45.1. That sets a good benchmark. Graham 2 tenths behind, and Aaron a few tenths further back. And when they all come round for their first flying lap, they're only going to get one more, and nobody has been able to match Biggles. So that's currently the time to beat. Who's last? Ross at the minute. I think probably Ross. At least Ross and Sly are the ones that didn't get a clean lap in because they're a few seconds off the pace. So let's keep an eye on Blue Flag. He's sort of in the middle of this pack. We'll see what his split time is looking like. I can only hope that Sly went off at the chicane on his first lap, because he's currently 2 tenths down on his time. We will see. We'll come back and find out. For now, let's come back to the front as Biggles crosses the line for what will be the final lap of qualifying. Just coming around the top of the oval now, past the grandstands, looking to beat 1:45. Is he going to make it on the run up to the line? He's not far off. Oh, it's a 1:44.8 from Biggles. Wonderful lap. Is anybody going to beat it? Graham's going to have a good go, but he's not going to get there. It's a 1:45.2 for Graham. He improved his time. Tom Duval into P2. In the second Mazda. Does the Mazda have an advantage round here as Panda nips in between them onto the front row? Graham currently 4th, Pagani 5th. Everybody is just coming across the line now. Last to cross will be Lennon, but that's not going to be an improvement. Well, well, well. How about that for a turn up? Biggles P1, Panda P2, Tom Duval P3, Graham in 4th, then Pagani and Lee, then Homer, then Ross, then Aaron, then Lennon, then Blue Flag. James wants me to predict his race result for the sprint and endurance, please, so that he can make me proud. Lennon saying hasn't Ron got a quali ban? Yep, that's why he's in the pits as far as I can see. So we'll just wait for the timer to run down, and then we'll be able to get going. So, what James's results then? What do we think? I think you would make me proud with a top 8 in the sprint, and then dead last in the endurance. It's okay, Lennon. Rom hasn't recorded the time, so he will be starting from the back. Right, while we wait for the time to run down. Fine. Top 10. We'll go with top 10. Right, let's have a look at the standings while we wait. So, as of week 2, it is Pagani who leads the way. It's very, very close. I mean, it's only been 2 weeks, but it's very, very close. Pagani on 74 points. Then you've got Panda and Ross both on 70, and Biggles, who's our current pole sitter, is on 67. So this is a real chance for Biggles to get right up to the top of the table, at least on the sprint before the start of the endurance. So he does. Okay, everybody's lining up. As we said, Biggles in P1 with Panda joining him on the front row, and this will be a standing start right in front of the Daytona grandstand. Lights are up and we are go for the sprint race. Pretty good start from Panda, really good start from Pagani in the background. He's already jumped Tom Duval into P3 and he's challenging Biggles for second. Biggles has already slipped back as Panda's gone flying away. And Pagani may well have got him as well. He's going to have to go the long way round, but he may well get it done. And he has. Panda just a little wide, but he holds P1. Everybody round the first corner safely. There's a little bit of bumping and barging in the midfield. Graham, blue flag. Oh, somebody's off there. I think it was Lennon, was it? Yes, it was. He's kept it going. He's a little bit further back, and he's sideways again, and he's round. There was a big pile of cars coming through that hairpin, and Lennon's the one that got spun out. So it's Panda who leads us down into the second hairpin as we head round towards the oval for the first time. Coming out of the infield section, Panda, Pagani, Biggles, Lee Cole, Tom Duval 5th, followed by Homer in P6. Oh, somebody's had a poor exit there, and it's Biggles. He's slipping back. We'll see what the Mazda can do, though. Has he got the straight line speed? He's got his teammate Tom Duval with him, with at least his car mate, not his teammate. The two Mazdas looking for a way past Lee. Oh, and it's very tight into the chicane. They're side by side. Lee's held on. It's forced Tom out wide, and there's a bit of contact. Well, everybody survives, but it slowed them up considerably, and Tom and Lee have both lost places because of that. Lennon has proudly admitted having 6 pints, apparently. And it's catapulted him all the way to the back, unfortunately. To be fair, I can't say that was his fault. It didn't seem like it was. There's a lot of cars trying to go into one place. But at the end of lap 1, it is Panda who leads by 7/10 of a second from Pagani. Team Fat Max, 1 and 2 at the moment. Tom Duval was in P3, but Biggles is now challenging. As you can see, absolutely bugger all in the cockpit of this Mazda. So we're going to switch view. That's slightly better, but not good enough. We've got some cheering for Team Fat Max in the chat. Like saying, come on, you bunch of tools. Oh, and Lee looks to dive down the inside. Tom Duval is very, very wide. Is Lee going to be able to get him as well? I think Tom may just get the drive off the corner. He does indeed. But Lee has taken P4 from Biggles. Oh, and he's looked for a big move on Tom in this contact. And Tom has been speared into the wall. Lee's carrying on. I don't know if there was any movement under braking or was unintentional contact. Lee's carrying on though. Tom's been dropped straight down the order. Biggles now inherits P3. Pagani is still there, but dropping off Panda, who's now 1.2 seconds ahead. Let's see him through the chicane. Nicely done. Into the high gear to get the turn in, and then straight back out of it again, maintaining that 1.2 second lead. There's a big gap in the midfield. I think everybody who's had those sort of half incidents has been pushed back a few seconds. So we've still got Lee, we've still got Homer, blue flag, Rom who's made his way up to 7th, good start for Rom. Aaron in P8, Tom recovering from ending up in a tyre wall, he's in P9, still on the back of Aaron. But then a 4-second gap back to Andy, then a couple more seconds to Sir Goose and Lennon, the only man's battling away. Oh, well, that was unexpected. Sir Goose has hit an invisible wall. That's unfortunate. Well, some divine force has interrupted there and said, Sir Goose, no, you do not belong here. Get to the back of the pack. That promotes Jade on to 14th. Graham is currently P13, followed by Ross and then Lennon, recovering after his lap 1 incident. Andy doing a good job in P10 so far. Has that invisible wall always been there? I have no idea. Or did it pop up just for Sir Goose? Anyway, interesting battle going on here for P6. Oh, here comes Tom DeVal. Send it. That's a nice move. Balls of steel. I think I almost saw it coming and knew there was nothing really he could do without there being contact and jeopardising his race. So Tom DeVal takes initiative and takes P7 back. Blue flag still P5, and the top 40, as you were, Biggles P3, just ahead of Lee. Biggles closing back in on Pagani now. This could be a quick lap for Biggles on 1:44.8. That equals his P1 qualifying lap. Lee not too far behind him. And in fact, it is Tom DeVal who set the fastest lap of the race, coming over with a 1:44.847. Just beating Biggles 1:44.871. So Biggles closing back in on Pagani. He's definitely got the raw pace, so it's not over yet. There's still 9.5 laps of this sprint to go, and Biggles is only 3 seconds off the lead. If he can avoid any dramas, he may well catch back up to the front. Although, to be fair, without the benefit of any slipstream or anything like that, Panda's doing very quick laps as well. Royston would like to know, what's the drink of choice? Today, Royston, is an Adnams Ghost Ship, a pale ale. Highly recommended. Recovered enough for a little drink. I went far too hard for the football on Wednesday, and Thursday at work was not a good day, let's put it that way. Oh, Panda is 4:10, nearly half a second purple. This could be an incredible lap if he makes this chicane well. Yeah, it's looking pretty smooth. Be really interested to see what this lap is. He's still half a second up. Where has this come from? There's no fuel depletion, so he's not gaining time by emptying the tank. In the meantime, Pagani and Biggles and Lee are all close up together now, but Panda is going to come across, and this is going to be... Oh, it's a 1:44.9. Is that Ferrari just super slow in a straight line? Because he was half a second purple onto the banking, and then by the time he got to the line, he was well down on the fastest lap. So absolutely no idea. Yeah, that's a good point, Dom. I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. And Dom's saying the draft on the straight, Pan didn't have that, but I didn't think it would make like 7 or 8 tenths difference around that sector. Oof. What sort of times were we seeing in GT2 last night? Everyone seeming faintly alarmed at these lap times. Bit further back. We're on P6, home P7, teammates following each other along. I think they'll be happy with that result. As Om said, your fastest lap both races, 45.4. Oof, yeah, well. The GT1 sweat is in evidence once again. Oh, we could have a sweaty teammate battle here. Tom DeVal making another move into the chicane. Aaron's going to try to go right around the outside. Ah, he's contact, but he's into the wall. Oof. Well, Lennon, that means, has made his way up to 10th, but he's got half-second penalty to serve. So Aaron is P11, Ross P12, Graham still in 13th. Graham doesn't seem to be enjoying this season quite as much as the last one. And as I say that, he sets the fastest lap of the race. Go me. It's saying where Tom Devard's going, he doesn't need teammates. He doesn't seem to need anything. Except for whatever it is he's actually on. Currently. I also like the fact that Tom's you know, faithfully he's bowed to his liege and adapted the Milka livery, but for some reason he's just whacked a Sprite logo on there as well. Has Aaron got that? I don't think so. Oh, where's Ross going? Huge slide for Ross coming onto the banking. That's going to lose him so much time. What was I saying? Livery? No, Aaron's got the mind, so Tom thought, no, none of that. No mental health charities. I need a refreshing drink to go with my Milka. I'm going for the Sprite. Evening, Jersey. Tom said I didn't put Sprite on that livery and I made it. So that was we can confirm that as a personal choice. I did put the eyes on it though, I haven't seen the eyes. Oh, hello. Oh, that's lovely, Tom. Fantastic work. Right, let's get back to the race. Panda's still in the lead, 2.2 seconds clear of Pagani. Pagani's dropped Biggles again a bit. So Biggles was gaining, but he had a dodgy lap 6, 1:46.0. That's allowed Lee to close. Oh, I wonder if there was a bit of a coming together there, because Lee's had a very dodgy lap 6 as well. So both of those guys have dropped off Pagani to the tune of 1.7 seconds. Owen saying I'll be going with Sprunk for GTA Classic. Absolutely, I think I'd go with Slurm. But that's just me, I'm a bit older, so... Can Biggles claw that back again then? Still 1.8 seconds behind. I think the win may be slipping bit. You know, I'm only going... Well, that might have been a penalty. I'm only focusing on Biggles because he got the pole time. So we know he's got the pace there. But without any slipstream, he's going to have to do it on the infield, perhaps through the chicane as he did there. The guy didn't have the cleanest of chicanes, and Biggles just gained a little over half a second. Owen's asking in the chat, asking for Jonesy to announce a multiplayer F1 manager. That would be unbelievable. What a game that would be. We wouldn't last past one season if we had an FTRL multiplayer F1 manager. There'd be so many fallouts. Right, Panda's got 2.3 seconds. Pagani is being reeled in by Biggles and Lee. Biggles is 0.2 purple. Oh, you could stream it, couldn't you? You could stream a real-time race with everybody managing. Oh, I mean, it's got to exist first, so I'll have to wait for confirmation from Jonesy, but I'll be down for that. Right, Biggles is still slightly purple, but he's just outside of slipstream range for Pagani. If he can do the chicane again, as well as he did last time, he's got a chance of closing in. For now, Rom's closed back in on blue flag. He's still running P5, but it could be in a chance for Rom maybe at the end of the oval section after the chicane. Homer's quite a bit further back now. He's dropped off a few seconds from his teammate. Oh yeah, Rom has flown through that chicane. He's only a quarter of a second back now. How's it looking up front? Oh, Lee is gained massively on Biggles. Biggles has had a really shoddy chicane, but Lee is helping him along. So Lee's not happy with going for a podium. He wants at least P2. And he is bump drafting Biggles into draft range of Pagani, and they are gaining hand over fist. Here they go. Is Lee going to think about a move? He is not. He's going to play it safe, play it sensible. I'll say that. He just about managed to get the car stopped before piling into the back of Biggles. But all of that has meant they're back within shooting range of Pagani for P2 now. Just good tactics from Lee. Blue flag is just about holding off Ron for now, taking, surely not, the defensive line. Ron P6, Homer in 7th, Tom Duval is P8, Andy is in 9th, doing a good job there. Lennon 10th, Aaron 11th, Graham 12th, Ross in 13th, with Jadon having a good look at his rear end. And then Sir Goose, after entering the shadow realm via some magical force, unbeknown to us, it is last. And it's looking fairly comfortable. The right rear tyre is not looking that comfortable, I will say that. I don't know how everybody else is doing. Probably most of them quite a bit better. Right. Well, Pagani's gained a little through the chicane, but not enough to get out of slipstream range. So this is going to bring these guys right back in the long run through. And that gap already down to less than half a second. I think Biggles in the Mazda has the speed advantage as well as having the toe. It's not going to make it in time to make a move, he says. No, just keeps it nice and tidy. And he wants to try and stay in range around this infield. And look for a move perhaps next time. Lennon coming under pressure from Aaron and Graham. But this is where the key battle is. Ooh, Pagani turning in very late there. He's a little wide. And that's given Biggles the opportunity to get within 4/10. Again, Pagani gets the better exit, but Biggles and Lee are a lot closer than they were on the last lap. Owner in the chat wants to know, what's everyone's go-to bar of chocolate? Double decker, mate. Shut up, Jonesy. Not now. Oh, Star Bar, that's a tremendous shout. What a shout that is. Biggles is making the move this time. He's round the outside on the banking into P2, and he's already ahead of Pagani. Got it done before the corner. In fact, he might have got it done a little bit too soon, as Pagani's going to go for the move again. Ooh. He went inside. There wasn't quite enough room. Biggles blocked him off, and now Biggles takes P2. 3 laps to go. Oh, Pagani's got a penalty. Oh, half a second penalty for Pagani. Oh, that could kill his race as well. Ron now holds the fastest lap of the race, 1:44.5. That's a hell of a lap. I think Pagani's, he might have to consider a move here. Because that half-second penalty's got to drop him behind Lee, if not. No, he's played it safe. I think that's fair enough, actually. He's not had a good exit from the chicane, though, so he's definitely going to be behind Lee once this penalty is served, and we're going to be on lap 12 or 13. Pagani would have dropped from second to fourth. But the man with the advantage over is Panda. He's still 2 seconds clear. He's lost a little bit of his lead. That tyre is looking a little angry now. Oh, the Guava boosts. I remember them. Don't worry, Zom, I'm old too. Right, so Pagani is dropped well behind Lee Cole. His tyre's not looking great either. I think it's a big slide as I say that. In fact, there's about 3 slides in a row, and he's got blue flag right on the back of him. Blue flag managed to take slightly better care of his tyres. Can he now put that to his advantage? Is he going to go for the send? He is. Pagani right to the outside. Blue flag straight through. I think Pagani might have been looking for the switchback, but just nothing there. And he loses another position. If he can stay within slipstream range, he might have a go at that Peugeot. But he hasn't. There's another huge slip and slide on the exit. That's a particularly dangerous corner for it. And it looks now Pagani has to turn his focus rearwards and make sure he doesn't lose another position on the final lap to Rom. Meanwhile, up front, Biggles has a 9/10 advantage. So first and second, barring any mistakes, looking reasonably settled. Biggles is gaining slightly on Panda, but it's not going to be enough. It's the first time I've seen the gap below 2 seconds for a long time, but he's going to run out of time, is Biggles. Panda's tyre is... You can't pit in a sprint. That's a great move. That's Nobby Norris levels of strategy, that is. Well, he's not giving up. He's back. He's within 9/10. Pagani 4th, Blue Flag 5th. We're on the final lap of the race now. Rom is a comfortable 6th. Tom Duval has made his way up into 7th, and Andy has made his way up into 8th. What's happened to Homer? Oh, P12. A 2-minute lap on lap 11, so we missed that. Ross 13th, Sir Goose 14th. This is a damaging result for Ross, this one. Doing well in the championship. He's going to get a P13 in the sprint. We'll go back to the front for now. I mean, that does... that does, of course, mean he gets a very good start for the endurance coming up shortly. But still, it's not going to help him. Panda is coming around 1.9 seconds clear. He is going to take the win as long as he can navigate this final chicane. Let's go on board for it. Here he comes, 200, hit the brakes at the 100 yard mark, just before comfortable. Ooh, careful. Very nice. Just making sure he got through. He lost nearly a second there. That will give Biggles some false hope as he closes in, but it is not going to be enough. Wonderfully driven by Panda. Managed the ailing tyres well, used his advantage, gained in the early part of the race, and he is going to come through to take the race win. Great performance as well from Biggles, from pole on the grid down to P2, but he, I think, will be happy with that. He takes third. Lee Cole with a very well-deserved podium, drove really well. Pagani has recovered to P4 unless Blue Flag's let him through. I can only think Blue Flag's let him back through at some point. And then Rom in 6th. Oh, we got a race to the line! Andy takes P7, great drive from Andy. Tom Duval P8, just 600ths of a second behind. And Graham at the end there coming forward. He spent a long time 12th, 13th place, but other people's struggles mean that Graham catapulted himself up to 9th. Lennon is 10th, Aaron 11th, not too far behind him. Homer, after some late drama, in P12. Ross 13th. And Sir Goose has got himself ahead of Jadon. What's Sir Goose doing? I don't know what he's up to there. Here comes Jadon. Are we going to have a race to the line? Sir Goose is picking up speed. Here comes the line. Jadon's not going to make it. P15. My misplaced faith in him there. We needed a top 10. Oof. Good race. Enjoyed that one. Unable to save. There we go. So your results for the sprint. Panda takes the win. Great result from him. Is that his first win this season? I mean, he's been picking up really good points. God, I have no idea what's going on, do I? Oh, hello. Oh, we've lost the lobby. Or at least I've lost the lobby. That's interesting. Oh no, Panda won the first race. Let's get back in there. I don't know what happened there. Got some weird error message. Are we back? Right, we had some weird error there. Let me know if you can hear me in the chat, please, just in case. I got kicked out of the lobby as the race reset, but I'm back. Good. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Go have a Starbar. Calm yourself down. As I was saying, I think I was talking to myself for a while. 29 laps, just to recap. If anybody's listening in the chat, any drivers are listening, it is 3 laps minimum on each of the tyres. 3 laps, not 5. So, again, having not seen the GT2 race last night, it'll be interesting to see what strategies people go for. Because those soft tyres didn't last that long, and the sprint race was on ×3 where... So you'd expect, certainly if you're talking about the higher wear cars, the cars with the higher tyre wear, like the Ferrari, you would expect that soft tyre to not last any more than 7 laps. No, I'm going in blind, Jonesy. I'm going in blind, mate. I don't want to know. I want to ponder it myself. I'm not deliberately avoiding GT2. I do like it. I just had other things on, like recovering from a hangover. Of course, there's only in terms of tyre wear, how worn your tyres are, what your lap times are looking like. There's only really half a lap where it actually counts. So does that mean we see a play for some longer stints, maybe even some runs on the hard tyres? I think on the endurance race we've had so far, everyone really got off the hard tyres as soon as possible. There seems to be a lot of talk about two-stopping in the two-stoppers in the chat. You've got to at least two-stop, as you've got to use all 3 tyre compounds. So that's definitely going to happen. Yeah, James, the quali ban is just a quali ban. Doesn't mean you start at the back for both races. Starting shortly. Just before we start, I would like to know Jonesy's current opinion of Gareth Southgate. Please. Oh, right, we're going. Too late. Never mind all that. Jadon will lead us off in the Lamborghini. It's a rolling start, so we will hope to get into turn 1 and round it without getting absolutely murdered. So Gooch is behind him in P2. Ross in P3. Is he one of the favourites for this race? Let me know, get your predictions in. Homer is 4th, Aaron is 5th, Lennon, Graham, Tom Duval, Andy, Rom, Blue Flag, Pagani, Lee, Biggles and Panda at the back, and away we go. Correct, Jonesy. Jadon leads us in, so Gooch is not very far behind. Somehow managing to get a much better start in the same car. Don't know if James forgot to hit the accelerator or what, but Sugus is right on him as they come around for the first hairpin. Ross 3rd, Homer's still in 4th. There's a bit of action further back. It's from Blue Flag and Lee all together. Let's see what everybody's chosen to do. Oh, I can hear squealing of tyres. What's going on? Camera angle's not great. Homer is P4, Aaron is 5th. Lennon is 6th. There's not been much change there. Let's see how these hard tyres fare for some of these drivers coming out of this corner. All okay so far. Bit of a wiggle from Panda, but he's alright. Just ducking and diving, see if he can find a way past Lee. He may just choose to bump him along. Let's see what people are doing for tyres then. So Jadon's on the softs, so good starting on the mediums. Ross is on the softs, looking to get ahead early. Whoa, there's a big pile of cars coming in here to the chicane. Andy's been shuffled to the back on the medium tyres. Tom on the hards, along with Biggles, Pagani, Panda, Lee Cole, Rom, and then Graham on the mediums. He's got himself a nice gap to those drivers behind him, so he'll be hoping that the guys in front of him can keep up a good pace and he can stretch that gap while he's on the medium tyres. He doesn't get held up too much. However, Aaron, Homer and Lennon ahead of him are all on the hard tyres, so Graham may have to be looking to make a couple of moves. James still leads. 1 whole lap. Go on, son. So Goose is now coming under increasing pressure from Ross then. Ross on the softer tyres. Graham's already making moves. He's passed Aaron up to P6. You feel he's got to get past these guys if he's going to take full advantage of his strategy. He's got a really good drive off the corner. Inching past Homer and into P5. If Homer has any sense, he'll duck back in, yes, and grab the slipstream. So Graham's not clear yet. fact, Homer's coming back at him. You'd think he would just bump him along now. Graham can brake so much later. Oh, Homer's very wide. Oh, and contact with Aaron coming out of the chicane. Well, that's dropped Homer down to P7. Aaron is into 6th. Graham is there now in 5th. Lennon being chased down by him. In fact, we'll stick with Graham because he's absolutely flying up to the back of Lennon. That gap is now under a quarter of a second. Will he get the chance to make the move? Lennon goes defensive. Graham goes to the outside. Goes very wide. He goes too wide. He's off the track. Oh, but Lennon's gone deep as well. And Graham's going to get the drive off the corner. Well, they both made a complete hash of it, but Graham is the one that comes out on top. Will that be a penalty? He drove wide off the corner. Looks like he's got away with it. Oh, Lennon! Oh, squeezing his way up the inside. Graham got all out of shape, and Lennon is back into 4th. Blue flag there in P6 now ahead of Aaron, Rom, and Lee. All this battling has allowed them to close back up. Right, what's going on at the front? James is 1.2 seconds clear of Sir Goose. Sir Goose doing his best to hang on whilst on the medium tyres. If he can keep this up for a few more laps, could be sitting pretty. And as of yet, Ross has not gained maybe as much as he might have hoped. Here he comes now. Can he pick up the slipstream? Has that. So we got the pace. He's not really gaining. In fact, Sir Goose is pulling away ever so slightly, or he was. Sir Goose isn't in the slipstream himself, so yeah, Ross struggling a little bit for top end speed, although he has set the fastest lap of the race 1:46.7. Also, crucially, I think Ross is really looking after those tyres. If you look, he's actually got equivalent tyre wear to Sir Goose, despite being on the soft compound, so it looks like the fuel is going to last these guys 8, maybe 9 laps. Which means Ross should be able to comfortably make those soft tyres last, and even maybe you can go for a bit of a push at the end. He's better on fuel than Sir Goose as well. If he can just hang in there, he's in a good position, because the gap back to the squabbling mid-pack on their hard and medium tyres is 6.5 seconds and growing. So Graham trying to recover from his near moment with Lennon. It's got back in slipstream range. Can he find a way through? Graham's just got to be careful he gets a decent exit, because Blue Flag is really quite close behind him. He's done alright, but he's not gaining. Not yet. So he'll have to wait a little longer maybe, or will he get into range? The tow now starting to take effect, but it's not really doing a lot for Graham either. Some of these cars struggling a little in a straight line. And you better watch out behind, actually, because here comes Blue Flag in the Peugeot. Lennon ducks to the outside. Graham's there as well. Blue Flag's not going to make the move this time. And everybody files through in a neat order. Lee right there in P7 as well. Aaron behind in 8th, followed by Panda, Pagani, Rom in 11th. Biggles is P12. Homer's been dropping back down the pack and is in 13th. Andy 14th, and no idea what's happened there. Has Tom pitted off the mediums? Tom's pitted off the, off the hards onto the mediums. So Tom DeVala's gone for the early pit stop, whereas everybody else has carried on. James is 3.5 seconds clear. 4 seconds clear. Ooh la la. What's happened to Sir Goose? Not much really. James just got the hammer down, putting in the laps. He's shredding that rear tyre, but he should just about make it to the end. Sir Goose still under pressure. Ross is quite clearly saving a bit of fuel and making sure his tyres last as well. I imagine he's keeping the toe. He will probably pick his moments to go past Sir Goose and gain a bit of time towards the end of his stint. But he's got a very healthy 6 second gap back to Lennon. Graham's all over the back of Lennon now. In fact, he's bumping him along. It was very generous of Graham after what happened earlier, but probably thinks it's best for his chances. Oh, Lennon's in the pits. So Lennon is the second one to come in off the hard tyres. Everybody else coming as well now. They're all following Lee and Aaron. Oh, I think that might be it, actually. Okay. I thought there was more coming in than that, but just the three of them. So some people choosing to continue on the hard tyres. Homer, Biggles, Rom, Garney, Panda. I mean, given the fuel, anyone in Evo? No. I don't think. Nah. It's a shame, I like the Evo. I don't know what it's like to drive at the minute. Yeah, you think end of lap 5, given the probable state of fuel. Oh, where's Homer going? Just thought he'd take a little trip to the infield there, visit the crowds. Unfortunately, he's let Andy through in doing so. Yeah, so end of lap 5 leaves 24 laps, which is 3 lots of 8, which would make sense on the fuel. James now 4.5 seconds clear, although Ross has now passed Sir Goose and is getting the hammer down, so this is the time for Ross's sprint to begin. He's already gained a decent chunk of time on James there, half a second through that chicane. So now he'll be looking to push and catch up, put them on an equivalent footing going into the second stint. So Goose now being left behind, and he's got a half-second penalty, which is a real shame. He's still got a decent gap back to Graham, who's now managed to make his way past... Oh no, sorry, Lennon pitted, didn't he? So Graham into P4, now 4 seconds behind Sir Goose, and now the remaining hard tyre runners are coming in. Yeah, it looks like the mediums and even the softs will reasonably comfortably last a stint, so there's... If he feels, once he feels okay, there's no need to stay on the hard tyres. Let's look at the state of play with regards to... Oh, Biggles has carried on the hard tyres, so is Biggles going for a 2-stop? You need to put 9 to 10 laps in per stint. Given how he is with fuel now, he's more than capable of doing that. So I reckon Biggles is the one going for the 2-stop, and looks like Homer might be doing it as well. So let's see how it works out for them. The problem they've got is all those cars behind them. Lennon, Tom, Lee, Cy, Panda and Aaron are all going to undercut them massively. In fact, they're already catching back up. So it's a decent gap so far back to Homer, but he'll probably find himself in the middle of that pack of cars when he comes back out again. We can be behind them. Right, that gap at the front down to 3 seconds as Sir Goose pits off the mediums. He's running out of fuel. That's interesting. Already down on the red line, Sir Goose, whereas the likes of Pagani, Graham in particular, maybe trying for a 2-stop as well. Ross and James still going strong through lap 8 and probably lap 9 as well. So we could see a few more two stops here than we thought at first, or at least I thought. It's the tyre that's going to kill James, if anything. And we've seen before, in previous races, that Lamborghini will tolerate most of the tyre being worn. Once it gets below a certain point, it will rear up and absolutely murder you. James is now 1.5 seconds slower than his fastest lap through that split. And Ross has got the gap down to just over 2 seconds. So I'd say Ross certainly going around for at least one more lap. James can probably only do one more. In fact, I would urgently advise only one more at the most, given the state of that tyre. But if he wants to do the two-stop, he's going to have to push on for one more. Oh, James is fuel saving. Went over on 148.6. Just hitting the red line as he goes through, and that gap, that was 2 seconds. Oh no! Oh, he saved it. He's just about alright, but he hands Ross the lead. Loses about 4 seconds. Mikey's cursed it. Bang on time in the chat. The rear tyre, as foretold, has risen up and tried to kill him, and now he's got a few more corners to do. In particular, that horrible left-hander coming out onto the straight. I would just tiptoe around that if I were him. Here we go. I'm gonna stay with it. Very, very gently. Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, Phoebe's absolutely right. Could have been a lot worse. And he does get to pit. Assuming he doesn't run out of fuel, that is. You can see the fuel saving in effect. He's doing 150. He's got Graham behind him, already hitting that mark, and he's like 6 seconds behind him. So that gap is going to come down a little bit. We'll keep our fingers crossed through the chicane. Oh, jeez. Oh no. Oh well. It's going to be a penalty. Graham's through into P2. It was one lap too many for James on the soft tyres, and he's really, really short on fuel as well. Is he even going to make it to the pit lane before running out of fuel? He's still not in the worst position in the world. Ross has just pitted. He's 9 seconds behind him now, and he has run out of fuel. He's going to have to let Pagani past. Both come into the pit lane at pretty much the same time. Everybody on nil fuel who's coming in now. Ross on 0, James on 0, Pagani on 0, Rom on 1, and Andy on 0. He has actually got away with that penalty, yes. So he's still in there. But I would say, I mean, Ross is clearly in the lead. Could be advantage Graham here. He's made that fuel last so well, and has gone round for a 10th lap on the medium tyres. What's that like? I just missed a comment there. Oh my lord, James apparently saying his wheel is broken. I'm not sure how. Well, let's find out. Graham will be coming in this lap, but he's done a really, really, really good job of managing the fuel, managing the tyres on the mediums, yes, but even so. So consistent from Graham. Once he got clear of that battling pack, he's done 147.8, 147.5, 147.2, 147.2, 147.2, 147.3. And even though it's his final lap and he's almost out of fuel, he's still just about bang on that time. So Graham is into the pits. Biggles has made it last as well. He's done 10 laps on the hard tyres. So he's coming in about 10 seconds behind Graham. And Homer about 10 seconds behind him. So out of everyone that's done a pit stop so far, it's going to be Lennon who inherits the lead of the race with Tom Duval right on his tail. And I mean right, he's a tenth behind. Is he going to make the move? He's going to go wide. Lennon defends the inside. They're both fairly clean through. Blue flag not far behind. Blue flag's out on the soft tyres compared to the mediums for the guys in front of him. Lee just behind on the mediums. Ross has come out of the pits on the mediums as well. Ross with way more fuel than everyone else, courtesy of his late stop. So Ross has got a pit stop on these guys around him. All of these on the 3-stop. Tom Duval, Blue Flag, Lee Cole, Panda, Aaron, Andy, all on the 3-stop. And Graham has popped out just behind Andy, a second and a half. So all of those guys have got to stop again. Sergey's still having a decent run. He's getting his hard tyre stint out the way. He did pit a little too early on those mediums to do a 2-stop though, so he will have to 3-stop. So James has come out 3.5 seconds behind Biggles. And with less fuel. Of course he came in a lap earlier, didn't he? Well, Tom Duval's peeled off into the pits for his second stop, I presume. He definitely, yeah, he must have already stopped. Yes, he stopped early on the hard tyres, didn't he? Yep. So this is Tom's second stop already on lap 11. And this is the part of the race where everyone just settles in, tries to figure out what's going on. Lennon is pushing hard, or fastest lap of the race on the medium tyres. 1:45.9. Side's picking up the pace though. Purple through that sector. Let's see if he can nab fastest lap off Lennon. Not quite. Oh, here comes Aaron. Looking for the move on Ross. Ross holds firm. I think unless the driver head goes very wide there's not really any room unless you're already side by side. Aaron holds P6. We're on the same tyres. Oh, and he's challenging him around the outside. I pressed the wrong button and missed the overtake. Aaron's through. Into 5th ahead of Ross. Ross again will be looking to save that fuel a little bit. It's not his race with Aaron. He will be ahead of him once the pit stops shuffle out. And Ross's nearest challenger at the minute is Pagani. who is 7 seconds back, closely followed by Graham. Graham has a lot more fuel though. Stopped later than either of those two guys. Andy's been in the pits and is out on the soft tyres, so he'll be looking to get in a few soft tyre stints here, catch back up at the pack, make up for those extra pit stops. Lennon, race leader, will be in at the end of this lap. Looks like blue flag can go another lap if he wants, and he does want. There he goes into the race lead. Lennon is followed into the pits by Lee, and Panda sweeps through to take P2. So everybody slightly offset with their strategies at the moment. Goose has come into the pits with quite a lot of fuel remaining. It's an interesting call. Obviously, presumably just wanting to get off the hard tyres a bit early. He'll be coming out on lap 15, which means he'll have 15 laps to do. So yeah, there'll be one more stop for Sodius. I understand that. I think maybe just correcting the strategy a little bit halfway through, which would be the thing to do. Aaron's out on the softs ahead of Andy. So Goose comes out just ahead of Andy as well. So it's Sai who leads. He will be in at the end of this lap. Will's been quietly ticking away. He could go for another lap. Just gain a little bit of time perhaps with the overcut. And he's held on well though, using the medium tyres, so he's got them out of the way. Ross will be doing the same. He's got a lot more fuel than both the guys ahead of him. He is the one battling with Pagani and Graham at the minute for the lead of the two stoppers. Beagle's not too far behind as well. So blue flag you expect would shuffle out probably about ahead of James. Let's keep an eye, see where it does come out. Oh, it does take a long time to come into the pits here, doesn't it? I've hit that pit lane at 180 mile an hour and then gone, nope, I'm just going to hang around for a bit before I hit the pit box. Fuel up now. Oh, James is comfortably passed actually. Comfortably. A lot less fuel of course, but I expected yeah, it looks like James has switched to pad. I think Mike is right. That's unfortunate. But at least he's still going. So Will be next to pit, and that will mean for the first time Ross will inherit the race lead. I think we're still looking at our favourites here. As it stands, just about halfway through the race. Is the two-stop going to pay off? Panda is in. Ross heads through it. Takes the lead. Pagani will follow him. Only 3 and a bit seconds behind. Pagani says fastest lap of the race. Sorry, last lap. Follows it up with a 146.6 compared to Ross's 147.7 on the same tyres. So Ross is sacrificing lap time for fuel here. And while he's doing a good job of it, he's not saved. I'm just flicking between them so you can see. He's not saved a massive amount versus Pagani. Pagani's going to have to come in most likely at the end of lap 17, which, to be fair, that's not a two-stop strategy. That leads to Pagani leading an extra stop, whereas Ross is only going to have to make one more, I believe. So if he can push it that far, then Ross doesn't really have to worry about Pagani. He does, I think, have to worry about Graham, because Graham is 10 seconds behind, but he's used his hard tyres now, whereas Ross hasn't, and Graham has a lot more fuel than Ross. So I think Graham could be working his way, as he so often does in these endurance races. Oh yeah, Ross is just coasting along, as is Pagani now. I think they've all realised they need to save a little bit more fuel. Seen this happen more than once before. Graham just quietly works his way into the best position in these endurance races. The strategy is almost always spot on for him. He's setting 1:47.9 compared to Ross. Ross picked up the pace actually, did a 1:46 on his last lap. Yeah, and I agree with Fever. I think Ross is in trouble. And I also think, based on that last lap time, that Ross has realised that Ross is in trouble. Because he's suddenly sped up. But it is a huge ask now if he's going to have to change tactics. It's a huge ask to either go 11 laps on a tank or do 2 short stints on soft tyres and catch back up to Graham. So Pagani's redlining. Pagani's definitely going to have to do 2 more stops. He's pushing the hell out of it. He's purple by 2/10. It's a shame he's not going to see fastest lap here because he's going to have to pit. In the meantime, I've completely glossed over the fact that Biggles is only a second behind Graham. He's lapping a lot quicker than Graham, and he looks to be on the same strategy. They're on exactly the same fuel. I can't remember if Biggles used the hard tyres on the first stint. I think he did. If anyone remembers, let me know. But if he did, that means these two are pretty much neck and neck when it comes to strategy, and this is potentially, as Pagani comes into the pits, with Ross's struggles, and Ross only doing 1 more lap here, this could potentially be a battle we see for the win. And perhaps Biggles knows that, because he's made the move on Graham. Graham's let him go, which I think is sensible. Biggles currently going a lot faster. A 1:46.3 to Graham's 1:48.6. So 2 seconds there. Graham, I think, has just let Biggles coast up to the back of him. Now he's going to stick with him, stay in the tow, save some fuel. Really interesting. I've just seen a big pile of cars coming around that first corner. Lennon, Tom Duval, Panda, Homer, all on slightly different strategies. I think obviously Will, out of all of these guys, is the odd one out, and this is going to be slightly problematic for him because he's had a 1:45.4 out of the pits for the fastest lap of the race, but now he's in a whole load of traffic, and the guys ahead of him are running soft tyres as well, so it may help with the slipstream, may help him save a bit of fuel even, but he's not going to be able to set those super fast lap times that he needs on his strategy. Jonesy helpfully informs me that Biggles did start on hard. Thank you, Jonesy. So Biggles has pulled out, and if Graham's strategy was to let Biggles through and then hang on to him for the tow, it's failed because he's now a second behind and out of slipstream range. Ross is in the pits. So that's the end of lap 18, which means if Ross wants to avoid a further stop after this one, he's going to have to stretch the tank of fuel to 11 laps, which is not... It's not impossible, but it's going to be doing some very, very slow laps. But how slow? Because if you lose, what's it going to be? 25 plus tyre change plus exit, 35 seconds, say, in the pits, doing another stop. That means he'd have to be 3.5 seconds a lap quicker. He does still have the hard tyres to use, yeah. He's short fueled onto the hard tyres. Oh, and come out right in the middle of a pile of cars. Now Homer just sweeps by him. Takes P8. Ross is right behind him. That's not going to help. Although with the hard tyres versus Homer's mediums, maybe Ross will just sit behind him and get some slipstream round the banking. Although he's got blue flag to worry about as well. Blue flag will not appreciate being held up by Ross here. He's going to have to try and find a way through. So Ross has got to do these 3 laps on the hard tyres, pit, put the softs on, and then go for it. Whoa, massive slide. He's forgotten he's on the hard tyres. Kicked up a huge slide, and that's let Sy through. Ross will now get the toe round the oval, though, which will help him. Back of the front. Biggles has played his strategy perfectly on the 2-stop. He has got 1 more lap in him, as has Graham, but Graham has now slipped to 2 seconds behind on those hard tyres. They've got pretty much identical amounts of fuel. Graham has got a very, maybe 1% more. Yeah, you see Biggles has just hit the red line. Let's see how far Graham makes it before he hits that, as Rom comes into the pits from P3. Promotes Lennon 3rd currently. Now Graham's on the red line, so there's not a lot between them, maybe a couple of percent. Yeah, I think I agree with Jonesy saying it should be a Biggles and Graham 1-2 now. It should. You never know. I wouldn't rule out these guys. Not necessarily. Team 3 stop. They're fighting again. Panda's made his way past Tom Duval. You can see how his lap times have suffered though. 1:46.2 on lap 18. Yeah, wouldn't rule this lot out. They've got more fuel. They're going to have to stop for less time. They are sort of 12 seconds back, 10 seconds back from Graham. It's not out of the realms of possibility if they can put some really quick laps in, because these guys here at the front are going to have to save a fair bit of fuel still. That was mighty close to a cut from Biggles, but I think he's going to get away with it. Alright, here we go. Now, Graham did not start on soft, so remember that. So it will be both of these guys onto soft tyres. The only reason I say don't rule out the guys behind them is because they will have to put in a lot less fuel when they stop. So with the refuelling rate, that's going to gain them a good few seconds. It will still put them behind. I don't doubt that. But the gap is going to be more like 5 seconds rather than 10 seconds. So Biggles is in, Graham is in, Tom Duval is on a different strategy from the others, is also in, as is Homer. Tom's not that far behind, to be fair. Oh. A little bit of a battle going on again. Oh, this is absolutely crucial for Ross and Pagani. Ross is out just still doing his hard tyre stint. Pagani has breezed past him on the infield. And ahead of them is Aaron, who's rapidly running out of fuel. So these guys have all got to stop again. They'll all be on the soft tyres when they come out, I believe. Blue flag's the one on the mediums just ahead of them. Lee is a few seconds further up the road and about to run out of fuel. And in the meantime, Lennon is being hunted down by a rogue Panda, and Lennon's had a massive moment, and Panda sweeps through and takes the race lead. So Panda is through into P1, lap 21 off 29, coming through to lap 22. Lennon's picked up a penalty as well. That scuppers his chances of staying ahead of this pack. He's going to have to come in as well. Panda's going to be able to do another lap on these soft tyres with the fuel he's got. Does he do that, or does he pit now? Take the fuel advantage? No, he's going around for one more lap as Lennon pits. So that slightly jeopardised Lennon's chances. Lee is in as well. Now just 2.5 seconds behind Lennon. Blue flag goes through, followed by Pagani. So these guys are still going. Pagani sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:45.2. It is all heating up as we come to the end. Lennon, you're still in it, Lennon. I feel like I have to motivate you. Mike is in, pointing out the tools 1, 2, 3 currently. It won't last, unfortunately. They've got to stop again. And it's currently this man in P5 who is actually in a net P1 with Graham now 3.5 seconds behind. Graham's got slightly more fuel in the car. Decent chunk actually, approaching 10%. So is Biggles under fuel slightly, or is Graham just over fuel slightly and just really made sure he can push it on these final few laps? I think on the soft, Biggles has got the pace advantage anyway, judging by this, going on the sprint race. Jonesy wants to know what Ross's fuel looks like. Not good. He is Scotch fuel. He's going to have to fuel for another 7 laps when he comes in. So, he's currently 14 seconds ahead of Biggles. That is not enough. Nowhere near enough. I'd say he's going to be at least 15 seconds behind those two when he comes out. So I don't think it's going to happen this time for Ross. Race leader into the pits. Pagani comes through, inherits the lead. Ross is in. Yeah, crucially, now behind Blue Flag and Panda as well. So it looks like Pagani or Panda are going to emerge the main challengers to the front two. Yep. So Panda's out into clear air. 5.5 seconds behind Graham. So I just about called it right there. I said 5 seconds. Not to toot my own horn, but you know. This is Biggles' race to lose. Pagani is 20 seconds in the lead, but he'll be coming into the pits for a 30-second-ish stop. That will throw Pagani out around about Panda, probably just behind, probably closer to Rom. And Rom really does have to be aware of the cars behind him. Tom Devard is gaining rapidly. He's got more fuel than Rom. But he's absolutely chucked it into the chicane and come out. Oh, he had a bit of a slide in the exit. He was within slipstream range. He just tried to go a bit too fast. It spat him out a bit of a rear wheel slide, but he's still gaining. That Mazda is ridiculous in a straight line. Look at this. Pagani is indeed. We're going to see a classic Pagani send here. Biggles has already gone past as Pagani pulls into the pit box to take the lead. Pagani needs to put 5 laps of fuel in, so he's going to fuel to probably roughly 60-65%. But in the meantime, everyone goes past, and that will be really debilitating. It'll just be painful. as he fuels all the way to 79, and that puts him out in just ahead of blue flag in P8. So we got Pagani, Lee, Lennon, Rom, Tom, Panda, Graham and Biggles all have made their final stop, but all of them are on different amounts of fuel seemingly. So, and crucially now, Graham is starting to claw that gap back in a little. He lost a little on the exit to the banking there, but that was over. That was 3.5 seconds when we last checked. It's now just under 3, and he's still got 5 laps to go after this one. It's not over yet. So I think we are officially done for pit stops. Yep, the chat concurs. So this is our net running order now. Biggles P1, 3 seconds clear of Graham in second. Graham is 5 seconds clear of Panda in third, who is 4 seconds ahead of Tom Diwali, who's come out of nowhere to be in P4. And has just picked up a penalty. Oh, that is pain. Oh my word, and he's going to serve it straight away. And we're going to go on board with Rom as Tom Diwali serves his penalty. See how close Rom gets. It's only a half-second penalty, but being on the straight, he's going to lose so much more time than that. Ron was 1.3 seconds behind. Here he comes. Lennon's coming up right behind Tom. Oh, Lennon's taking P5, and it's flying up. We're going to go back out so we can see what's going on. I didn't see Lennon coming there. He's flown past Rom on the straight. Is Rom having to fuel save? Yes, a little bit, I think. He's only got half a tank left to do 5 more laps, so Rom is fuel saving. Tom and Lennon probably aren't, but Lennon is flying, and Tom goes wide on the corner again, and Lennon's right on the back of him. He may wait till the oval. He may try and get it done on the infield if he wants to send it. He's going to keep it calm for now. Hits the apex nicely. Tom Duval again a little bit wide, still getting the drive off the corner. Okay, 3/10 the gap. They come around for the left-hand kink. Tight into the left-hander, and then back on the power as soon as possible without unsettling the car. Soft tyres helping a lot with that, and then Lennon comes out onto the oval. 3/10 behind Tom Duval. Can he overcome the power of the Mazda though? Yes, Mikey makes a very good point. It's not like Rom struggle with fuel. Just we see Lee breeze past into P6. Oh, Lennon was looking for a move on Tom, and there was maybe a little bit of contact. Lennon had to back out. He just about avoids the penalty as well, and that's put the gap back to 7/10. In the meantime, Pagani is all over the back of Lee. He's gone past Rom as well. He's just fading away. Pagani takes a peek to the outside, ducks back into the slipstream. Can he find a way through? Here they come. Lap 25 or 26 now, 29. Pagani's all over the back of Lee. He knows he's got time though. Doesn't need to make the move yet. These two gaining on Lennon as Lennon gains on Tom. All coming to a head in the mid-pack. Meanwhile, out front, the gap is now... It's coming down ever so slowly. Graham is pushing. The problem Graham's got now is that Biggles has been saving fuel, and they're now exactly equal on fuel. So Graham has pushed. He said his fastest lap of the race. If he wants the win, he's going to have to take a chance. He's going to have to keep pushing. He's going to have to go past the limit of his fuel and see if he can get within slipstream range to then save fuel and have a go on the last lap. That would be my view. I don't think it's quite within range unless Biggles makes a mistake. Fever says team orders in place. Don't fight. No chance. This is not Formula One. We are not doing team orders here. Fight, 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 fight. Of course, to do that, you have to catch him first, and at the minute, it looks like that charge has stalled slightly. Biggles, has he saved enough fuel to pick up the pace? Yes, he has. 146.1. Graham with a 1:46.1, so they are now equal, 3 laps to go. I think at this point it's going to take a Biggles mistake. Panda's done a really good job to end up in P3. He's not going to catch the guys ahead of him. He's not even lapping as quickly as them, but he's comfortable in third. This is where the real battle is at the minute. Tom Duval is half a second clear of Lennon. He's 8 tenths clear of Lee, who is not at all clear of Pagani. And in the background, Rom was fading. He's avoided losing any more places so far. I wonder if he's managed to save a bit more fuel. He's still not in a good place, I'd say. Blue flag coming up to the back of him has got slightly more, and it's just at a 1:45.8. 1:45.6 for Homer. Aaron in P11 under pressure from Ross, and it was really not worked out for Ross. At one point, I think it was only 10 laps. It wasn't even 10 laps ago. We were, well, I anyway, was calling him the favourite for the race. Now he's half a minute back and challenging Aaron for P11. And once again, it could have big repercussions on the driver's standings. And I think, and I definitely, I'll just point out, I definitely called Jadon's finishing position for this. Just pointing that out. I think we're looking at the man who's making big gains here in the Drivers' Championship off tonight. He's holding on to that lead. If he holds on, he's gonna take P1. He took P2 in the sprint. With everybody else where they are, he could even find himself top of the table. Maybe not ahead of Will. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how the points work out. We will physically whip Jonesy to get the tables out so that we can, as soon as possible, so that we can see how it shakes out. We're only in week 3, of course, but that's no excuse for not whipping him. Only a 10-week season this season, of course. Next week we will be at Alsace. That'll be interesting. Particularly interesting, actually, as the race is a 3 sprint races around Alsace village. But the qualifying is we're doing the F1 style qualifying around the Alsace test course, which is a hilarious track. So I look forward to that immensely. Right, Biggles is coming round, and it's close to starting the final lap of this race. The gap has dropped to 1.7 seconds, but unless there's any mistakes on the infield from Biggles, he's still got that gap. Here we go, one more lap. Biggles just looking to bring it home. He just has to make sure he doesn't lose a second or so around the infield. Just don't let Graham into slipstream range. Panda is 6 seconds back. Lennon is now P4. Tom Duval is now P5. He's been caught and passed by Lennon. Pagani is 6th. And he's absolutely hammering it, but he's had a bit of a dodgy lap 28, unfortunately for him. I don't know what happened there. So Pagani is 6th. Blue flag 7th. Lee in 8th. Rom has now slipped down to P9. Homer is 10th. Aaron is still holding off Ross. Ross got only P12. Sir Goose 13th. Andy 14th. And challenging Sir Goose. Looking to make the move. Not quite. We'll see how those two end up in a bit, but we'll come back here. Just the chicane to go for Biggles. He's 1.4 seconds clear. We just have to see it one more time through the chicane. I think he's okay on fuel. In fact, he's better than Graham on fuel. Graham's now fuel saving. So all Biggles has to do is navigate the chicane one more time. Kicks up the grass, but he's okay. Sends it through neatly. Stretches that gap, in fact, out past 1.5 seconds. And it is going to be Biggles who sees it home. Perfect strategy. Perfect drive. Ultra consistent as well. You can see on the right side of the screen, he's been within a couple of tenths almost every lap except for one lap when he randomly decided to pop in a 46.1. Here he comes. P1, race victory for Biggles. Fantastic race from him. Graham does well to come home in P2. Panda, I think, will be happy with a third place. And it's a fight to the line between Lennon and Tom Duval, and Tom Duval takes it by 400ths for P4. Pagani slightly behind. Blue flag in 7th, Lee is in 8th, and here comes another fight to the line, and it's Homer and Aaron. Homer slipped back somewhere, and it's going to be Homer who holds on just about. Oh, just about. Again, 400ths of a second. Ross is in 11th ahead of Rom, who's ran out of fuel. Surely not. And now to the line. Sir Goose takes P12. Andy P13. Rom ends up in 14th, and Jadon is doing donuts on the track at the end of the chicane. Rom. Oh dear, come on, you don't have the fuel for donuts, James. Mr. Krispy Kreme himself heads around the banking, nice sedate 130 miles an hour. Hello Joe, how you doing? Alright mate? Thanks very much. Here he comes. Lovely stuff. Fix your wheel. There we have it. Is it going to kick me out again? Oh no, we're okay. So, one more time, your result for the endurance race. Biggles P1, just ahead of Graham in 2nd. Panda in P3 rounds out the podium. Tom Duval in 4th. Lennon 5th. Pagani 6th. Blue flag 7th. Lee in P8. Homer in P9. Aaron in 10th. Ross in 11th. Sir Goose, admirable job standing in, coming up from GT2, along with Andy. So he is P12. Andy in 13th. Rom in 14th after his, episode 523 of Rom Elson's fuel issues in 14th. And James rounding out the grid in 15th place. Right, that is it. Just a little PSA at the end. If you do fancy some easy money on the game, and you were enjoying the Super Formula cars last season, there is the online time trial that's just come up is Super Formula cars around Fuji. So if you want some easy cash, get on it. Apart from that, we're all done. Please do join us again next week. Thursday and Fridays, GT2 Thursdays, GT1 Fridays. Both times we will be at Alsace, enjoying the myriad horrors of the test course for qualifying, and then the wonderful track that is Alsace Village, one of my absolute favourites, for the 3 sprint races. Please do join us then. Alright. Everybody have a good evening. Thank you very much. I will see you next time.